right, so this is Amos. Amos, this is Johnna.
Hi, Johnna.
Johnna is actually our animal care specialist here.
Oh, cool. So you're
She is our animal person. She takes care of our snakes, our frogs, our turtles. She does all of it.
And doggies too.
And doggies too, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us here at the Tampa Bay Watch Discovery Center. This is our public-facing facility, kind of our outreach facility. So we get a lot of tourists that come in here, but also a lot of locals that just want to learn a little bit more about Tampa Bay's estuary. So we're going to take a peek around, show Amos some of the animals here, and see if we can say hi to some friends. Let's go. Now, I might be a little bit biased to the snake that's up here. His name is Rex. He is a red corn snake. I actually raised Rex. I got him for my 20th birthday as a present to myself when he was just a little worm, not even a foot long. And now he's over 4 feet long. He's about 4 years old. And he is probably our most friendly snake. We get him out to come out to the schools and things, which is really fun. So he's another cool species that people might commonly see in their backyards, under logs, debris, things like that. And these guys, again, are rat snakes, so they're eating a lot of those rats and mice. So yeah, he's a corn snake. He gets his pattern, well, he gets his name from the pattern of the traditional corn over here. Just pretty cool. Let's see if Amos can say hello. Can we be nice? What's this over here? Good job. What is So we've got our barking tree frogs. Those guys actually have chromatophores on their skin, just like our fish do, so they can change their colors. So those guys in the back are also barking tree frogs, but you'll notice that their color is a lot different up in the corner there. So they are the same species, but again, they can change their color, which is really cool. Now, frogs and toads, again, are another animal that's really important to the ecosystem because they eat a lot of those pests. These guys eat a lot of mosquitoes, which are one of our least favorite things here in Florida. And so they kind of, again, help keep that ecosystem at bay. Now, this exhibit is also for the purpose of educating the public about some invasive species in this area as well. Now, because of the tropical climate that we have here in Florida, we do end up being kind of a hub for invasive species. So looking in here, we have our cane toads, which are a huge invasive toad species. And they actually have some really large toxin glands on the back of them there that you can see. So these guys are a big threat to a lot of the animals in this area. And because these guys are so big, their population has just kind of gone out of control. So this is our interactive sandbox. This is kind of cool because it actually shows topography. So the more you build it up, the more land you'll see. And the more you break it down, the more water you'll see. Now this represents all of the areas of our estuary ecosystem, not just the animals in that marine ecosystem, but also on the land as well. So you'll start to see some fish in here, and then on the land side, you'll see things like lizards and birds start to appear as well. So this is a really cool thing for kiddos to get their hands in. We actually do sensory-friendly programming here, and this is probably our favorite exhibit during that time. It's just a really cool hands-on interactive exhibit. So these guys are kind of like a mix between your traditional tortoise and your sea turtle. So they spend about half their time on land, half their time in the water. So they're demonstrating both of those for us, which is great. Now, these terrapins are actually a threatened species. And because of that, we are trying to do a lot to replenish their habitat. These guys live in the mangrove ecosystems, and again, like we discussed yesterday, those mangroves have depleted in the last couple decades. So because of that, we've also seen a decline in these guys' population size. So the more restoration we do, the more increase that we'll see in their population as well. All of the species in our touch tank are local to the Tampa Bay area. I'll get a couple of them out for us to see. Now we've got some big brown spiny sea stars. Now these guys are an echinoderm. Echinoderms are characterized by spiny skin, so urchins also fall into this category. Now if we flip him over, we'll see that he's got tube feet that help him to hold on to things, which is pretty cool. And their mouth is actually in the center here. So they'll kind of pull the food into their mouth They actually expel their stomach through their mouth, surround the food on the outside, and then digest the remnants like soup. Now in here we have some of our favorites, the horseshoe crabs. Now these guys are known as a living fossil. They've been around for 450 million years, virtually unchanged. Now they are equipped with 10 eyes, 10 legs, gills that can retain water for up to 5 days outside of the water. And they have kind of a modified mouth in the center here. So they're more like a bug than anything. But they are basically just a ball of armor. And they, again, have been around for 450 million years. But something really cool is they're actually important to us. A lot of our vaccines, such as the COVID-19 vaccine, came to be because of testing through these guys. Their blue blood has a lot of medicinal properties that help it to coagulate against bacteria and imperfections, leading to some really cool scientific discoveries that are beneficial to us. Now, Petunia is our diva back there. That is our striped burrfish. Our guests know Petunia. They come in asking for Petunia, and she's been around since our opening, actually. We have a lot of striped burrfish out in the bay. They're one of the most common fish to see, especially among those seagrass beds. So looking in here, we've got all native species to the Tampa Bay area. We've got our hogfish up here. Now they are probably our tastiest fish in the area. You see them a lot on the menu. We've also got things like our spadefish, which typically school together along docks. We've got a couple species of grunts, including pigfish. We also have a couple different snappers, like our lane snapper. He's got some colors on for us, which is pretty nice of him. Super pretty. Now, this lady over here is my favorite, Miss Penny. She is an orange filefish, and she was actually caught off of our eco vessel. But you'll notice that her fins are a little tattered, and so we noticed she wasn't doing too great out where she was, so we did end up keeping her here. Now, she is a really cool example of the adaptations that different fish have. You'll notice that she is basically flat. Now, that gives her a couple different advantages in terms of camouflage and also in terms of the food that she can eat, which is pretty cool. Now, we like to talk about the seahorses because they are an indicator species. Now, they don't actually have teeth in their mouth, and they don't really have a working stomach, so the food kind of goes right through them, and they eat constantly. Because of this, they're going to be the first ones hit with any sort of algae blooms, any sort of pollution, or disease that's in the water. They'll be the first to start to decline. So out on the boat, we actually do seahorse population monitoring. So during our trawls, if we catch a seahorse, we'll actually measure it. It's a really kind of funny process because seahorses are pretty small. And then we record it in the iSeahorse database. That is a worldwide database that goes through seahorse and pipefish populations. And that's who you're looking at, is a pipefish right there. He's like kind of like a stretched out seahorse. They have very similar characteristics. Lionfish are invasive for a couple different reasons. They obviously were brought here from the Indo-Pacific Ocean. They were released from aquariums and just as part of the pet trade. But you'll notice that they're covered in spines, and those spines are venomous. So they don't have any native predators here, and they reproduce at a really rapid rate. So that unfortunately causes a blow up in their population size, and they also can eat just about anything.